everybody, and welcome to the pilot episode edition of Unpopular Reviews Entertainment. I'm really excited about this episode today. So excited! We got some of the heavy hitters here at Unpopular Reviews. Let's start off by bringing on one of the co-hosts for tonight, the Mark, Victor Rodriguez. Victor, what's going on this evening?
Hello, everybody. How you doing tonight? And welcome to Unpopular Reviews Movie Edition. And I'm excited about this because we are starting with the one and only Captain America.
Captain America is one of Marvel's pillars of entertainment. Speaking of pillars of entertainment, let's bring on the pillar of entertainment and the pillar he calls his car, because I see him backstage in his car. I had to go buy another broom. The Willie P. Dream. What's going on, bro?
Yo. Welcome, everybody. This is the Unpopular Reviews Movie Review Edition. And why not start with one of the most historic franchises in movie history today? We got the MCU we starting out with. We're going to start out with, we started the title, say Captain America, which should have been the first film to start out the Avengers, but they kind of jumped backwards, and we're going to get into all of that as we start to discuss the MCU. But before we go into that, I want to ask the fans if y'all know what saved Marvel movie universe. And
what saved the MCU? Is that what you're saying?
What saved the MCU, which gave us the Captain Americas, the Iron Mans, the Avengers. It's one one series in the MCU that don't even get talked about that much, but it actually saved Marvel's whole company. And
saved them from?
What'd you say?
Saved them from what?
Saved them from, it gave us this one movie. The success of this movie was able to give us the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. If this one movie didn't succeed and be able to become a trilogy, we wouldn't have got Spider-Man, Iron Man, Avengers, or any of that. And if the fans don't know, if y'all don't know, I'm here to tell y'all, it was Blade. It was Blade with Wesley Snipes.
Blade. Yes. Blade and Blade 2.
And
yes.
So what people don't understand is we wouldn't have got Spider-Man. We wouldn't have got X-Men if it wasn't for the success of Blade. Marvel was headed towards bankruptcy when that movie came out.
Okay.
And its success. So before we go into, Iron Man and all that and Captain America, I just wanted to shout out Blade, because without Blade, there would be no MCU and the franchise.
Man, damn! If I would have known we would do that, I would put the graphic up for that one. That's fire, Blade. Damn, I feel like watching that now. That was a good movie, bro.
Well, people don't
ill in that movie, man.
We got a chance to see that. We got a chance to see the Daywalker. So okay. Now that I got the backstory out, all right, let's go into Captain America, First Avenger. Now technically.
Really?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna get into Captain America: The First Avenger. So that movie was a great movie. Now before I get into that, I just want to say one thing. Now the reason why, a lot of people are gonna sit here and say, no, but the first movie was Iron Man 1. Yes, it was, but we're not going to go in the order of released films. This is why this week we're doing Captain America and Captain Marvel. So we're basically going to go down the timeline. And the reason why we're doing Captain America first is because that's the movie that starts in the 1940s, leads to Captain America's character, and then starts leading into the shows with all the other characters. So now basically what happens is that it shows the movie from 1941. From 1941, it
It's like everybody had an issue just now because even Vic left. But anyway, picking up, and we apologize for the technical difficulties. As Vic was saying, from 1941 to about 1945, this took place during the World War II. Almost said Civil War, I can't believe that. Took place during World War II. Pretty much Nazis out here fighting the Americans. Captain America. Captain America is a skinny little shrimp from
we all
did it. I was actually on Instagram. I was trying to do some stuff on Instagram. Then I just heard you stop talking, so I came back. But loyalty is down there.
Well, yeah, I was explaining to people how we're not going to go in order, so you can continue with what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to order. So we're going to order by each superhero. So for the most part, their timeline was set pretty well. The only issue that we have is the fact that Captain America, they had to start by their backstory, which was during the World War II. Captain America's Steve Rogers. He's a pretty scrawny little kid in New York City. He got selected to. Hold up. Right. Okay. He's a skinny little kid in New York City. When he's picked up to take part of the Super Soldier Program serum, he gets it. Yada yada yada. I'm not going to take you through everything in the movie because odds are you've already seen the movie. However, this leads to Captain America becoming the first Avenger as he goes against Hugo Weaving's The Red Skull in a movie that was actually, it wasn't a bad movie. It was a pretty good movie. You can tell it was the fifth movie, as far as finances and money and stuff like that. But it was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Vic, what you got going on when it comes to this movie?
Well, one thing that was reoccurring was the story of putting value into someone's inner strength instead of what's outside. One of the moments in the movie that I really liked was when the platoon that Private Rogers was on had to go up and chase the flag. I had to go up the flagpole and get the flag, and the first one to get the flag was the one that was going to go home with what was her name? Damn, what the hell was her name?
Peggy Carter?
Yes, Agent Carter. Agent Carter. Actually, I want to watch that show because I never got a chance to do that. So yeah, he got a chance to go home with Agent Carter because he did the smart thing and used his head and pulled the pin out and then got the flag. And then the sergeant was like, nobody's been able to get that flag in 17 years. And then he just did the smart thing and went and got the flag and then did that. And then the other part was when the final test was when they threw the grenade and everybody else started running, the dummy grenade. Everybody else started running and Tommy Lee Jones was trying to make a point. And unfortunately, he ended up missing his point because Private Rogers jumped on top of the grenade so that everybody else can get saved and he saved himself. So then, and you could see it in her face that she was already feeling him like after that. You know what I mean? She was just smiling, trying to hold it in, but the moisture was popping already. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. That was that part was cool. So the beginning of the movie, and the thing about this movie is that it felt like two movies. Because first they show his whole story before he goes down into the trenches, and then they show a little bit of the story as to when he comes 70 years later, which is insane, because another thing, like there's a lot of parts of Captain America that I didn't know about when I first saw this movie. Because I just knew the character of just Captain America, you know what I mean? I didn't know the build up to it, so it's really nice to see.
Yeah, I agree. That scene you talked about, I want to elaborate on that scene a little bit more about him diving on the grenade. I hated that scene. And the reason I hated that scene, I know it looks crazy, right? So who was he trying to save?
Everybody. It's a grenade.
They ran away.
And the Tesseract.
Yeah, no, he's trying to cover the grenade so that it doesn't make such a big explosion to save whatever.
But that was nobody to save. They all ran away. They saw a grenade and they did the smart thing and ran away. But he's over here, maybe he has a suicide thing. I don't know. But the bottom line is everybody ran away and he's diving on this grenade for no reason. He would just killed himself and everybody else would have been fine. So
Yeah,
I didn't like that too.
that's the point. He would have killed himself and everybody would have been fine. The whole point of
Everybody
showing
would have
that
been
was
fine if he didn't do it.
he was selfless. I understand that. I would be fine if he didn't do it too. But he was showing that he was selfless. Why do you think there was a little smile in Agent Carter's face? She was cheesing it up because
Exactly. He wanted a woman. He wanted a woman. Willie knows what you're talking about now. He wanted a woman. I mean, you know what? You weren't going to get the woman if you did. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what are you going to do? He didn't have super serum. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have super serum then. He was a skinny kid. I could throw an apple at him, he would have fell. So why in the world are you putting yourself in a line of fire? What is it? How much of the blast was the body going to cover up?
That's what people don't understand about the super soldier serum. As you know, they never could recreate it, even though they tried with the Russian version of Captain America, which we'll all get to know and find out during the Scarlet Witch movie. The serum is just like, and I hate to fast forward as we talk about it, but the super soldier serum, it reacted to him based off of him having a pure heart, just like when he lifted Thor hammer in Endgame. That's what people don't understand about the super soldier serum. Why it only worked, even why Bruce Banner couldn't recreate it, because it went off purity of heart too. Like, people don't understand that. Like, if you're a true Marvel fan, you read the comics, you understand that. Far as y'all was saying, you know, far as the order of the movies and everything, they kind of gave you glimpses of everything that was coming in all the movies. Like, okay, like even with the Shield and Hydra, like they highlighted those with when they first started the Avengers project. You see the Hydra sign. Then you figure out how Hydra was even tied into had infiltrated Shield. But all that goes back to the Agent Carter days as well. And you see that. So
I agree because you see one of the Infinity Stones in this movie. You see the whole thing with Hail Hydra from, I think, the Avengers movie. You know, because that Hydra flows into the Avengers movie, I think so too, and which goes into the last movie. And Tony Stark. I mean, no, what's his father's name?
Howard Stark.
Howard Stark. Yeah, Howard Stark. You first see Howard Stark there. And he, mind you, he finds the freaking Infinity Stone at the end of the movie. So, like, you know, that whole situation is cool because it kind of brings you, like, Howard Stark always kind of brings you back to Captain America too, because, like, look how he made the shield. And he probably had the shield. And look, mind you, they didn't mention adamantium. Wait, is it adamantium? What is it?
It's vibranium.
Vibranium. Yes, they didn't mention the vibranium in that movie, but you can see that the metal is very special and very unique. And Agent Carter shoots it, and it's like, you know, the bullets are flying everywhere. Like, there's a whole bunch of little hints to what's coming.
It's not mentioned vibranium, and actually in the comic books it's vibranium and adamantium. But they couldn't mention adamantium because adamantium was owned by Fox in that X-Men Marvel universe, so they just made it strictly vibranium.
I see. But so in the comic books it was a mix of vibranium and adamantium.
Vibranium and adamantium because they're the two strongest metals on Earth.
Nice.
But like I said, they can only make it vibranium, which works. It's nice. It's a small tidbit. It's not that serious. But that's one of the reasons why they weren't able to do that.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's good to know. I got to read those comics.
I'm going to tell you the best one, the best comic book you want to read, if you ever get your hands on it. It's like this thick. And it's the DC versus Marvel. You get that? You'll understand all the power levels of all the mutants, all the heroes, from Superman to Thor to Darkseid, all the way to fucking Galactus. Like,
so what is it, like an encyclopedia type of thing?
Basically, yeah. And but okay, so I just got in the house, so you know I'm back on my regular scheduled program. All right, y'all. So Did we talk about where they found Captain America in the ice yet? Did we get to that?
Nah, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. So,
Well, that happens. That's at the end, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, once after he gets into the army, then they basically, because the entire thing is just a test for him. They choose him from the very beginning, and he's chosen by the doctor that knows how to make the serum. So once he's put into this little, once he goes through all these tests, all these physical tests and all this stuff, then they put him into the box so that they can plug all of the serum into him. And when they do that, at first, the entire system, this is when you first get introduced into Howard Stark, which is awesome. And you can see that it was literally the Starks that made Captain America.
Yeah.
So, they go through the whole process, they put the serum in him, and then they finally use the actual actor's body of the guy, and they finally actually release him. Because one thing that I noticed throughout the whole movie, at least the beginning of the movie, is that like the CGI and his head was just like so fucking big.
Oh, that little ass body.
Like, that thing had me dying because you see like
he looked
certain
like
parts, it just doesn't work, bro. It just
man looked like one of the. He looked like one of the Somalian kids on the.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it just did not work.
Commercial.
For real.
This body, I just thought of that song on the commercial. It'll be on my way. Like, my man, Rib, you can see his heartbeat through his chest right there.
For real.
He was really, really scrawny, yet he want to hop on a grenade.
You back on that?
Yeah, I'll never get over that. But this scene was actually really entertaining. Also, Chris Evans. Fun fact. I have plenty of them. He was actually turned down this role 3 times before accepting it.
Nice.
They were actually considering having Sebastian Stan, who plays Bucky, to play Captain America because he kept turning it down. Then he finally was convinced to go ahead and do it. He got himself in a tremendous amount of shape for this movie. He was already in good shape, but he got himself in a great deal of shape for this movie. And it's really interesting to see, to a certain extent anyway.
We haven't seen a transformation like that. Other than Captain America, I'm gonna go with Chris Pratt or Will Smith from the Muhammad Ali movie.
Also, in later movie, we'll talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
I said Chris Pratt.
Yeah, but it's amazing. I consider his to be the biggest turnaround because, like I said, Chris Evans actually was in pretty decent shape before then, but he bulked up for this movie. But this thing, it got chaotic at the end. There's a guy that comes and he kills the scientist that made it. Perfect shot, shoots him, runs away.
A lot of people don't know one of those scientists is one of the Hydra famous. What's his name? I forgot his goddamn name, but he's one of the scientists at Hydra that transferred his consciousness, and that's how we.
Armin Zola.
Yeah, that's the guy that ends up being in a computer later on in the movie.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Zola with a Z. But he shoots the guy and then he goes into this dramatic, running and stuff like that. Hey, y'all talk about the movie. I'm here to point out the inconsistencies of some things that happen because I love doing that. He takes this one vial that somehow survived and he gets it, shoots the scientist for no reason. He could have just stolen the vial and left, but he decides to steal the vial and create a whole mess. It's entertaining to me. But yeah, go ahead, carry on with the scene.
Yeah, well.
So anyway, he took the vial and then he went running, and then Captain America went running after him, and created this whole scene where it was just they were just riding around through the streets of New York, and Captain America ended up stopping him. The vial ended up breaking, and then the guy, it looks like he ended up getting shot or go to jail or something like that.
I thought he took the cyanide.
He took a cyanide.
No. What he did is, he did take the cyanide and then killed himself, because that's what they do, the Hydra agents. They do this like little thing with their teeth, like they put cyanide and then kill themselves.
And it's a cap. But that's bad 101. Like if you ever, that's one of the things, if you was a Navy SEAL, if you was a deep cover agent, that's one of the things that back during the World War I days and during that time, they gave all the spies to the agents, you had a cyanide cap in your tooth. So if you ever got captured and you thought that you was gonna give up information, you could just crack that thing, pop that thing in your out the tooth, and bow, take it and swallow. That was real heavy during the Cold War. Yeah. So that actually was it was kind of you about to see the church out. That was definitely one of the times, I guess, a good way how they recap the whole spy game back in the day. So I want to give them credit for that when certain shit didn't add up. Thank y'all for joining this unpopular review edition of the MCU universe, man. Make sure y'all liking, y'all sharing this. Yeah, man. And make sure y'all join in. I don't see no comments, Chris. We ain't got no comments.
No, we don't.
Nah,
well, we have one. We have one if you want this again. It's how are you? That's the how we go.
That's all right. People are probably getting ready for NXT and AEW. That's okay.
Oh, hold on. Something coming on NXT tonight?
Yeah, NXT show.
Oh, I forgot Wednesday. Shit. Duh. My bad. Okay. Anyway, back to the movie. We talking about the part where Captain America just came out the chamber and he chased the guy, the spy who took the valve. He chased him down. It was a little submarine in the water. He caught him. He dove in, swam down, grabbed it. You got to see a little bit of the super soldier serum at work with his speed, his strength, agility. That was before they made him a prop in the war. After that, you see how they used them for the propaganda against the war on Hydra. Hold on.
But then when you saw how much they used him for the propaganda, it ended up getting to a point where he started losing respect amongst his peers. Because it just got to the point where all he kept doing was just doing these commercials and doing all this like we want you stuff and you know all this pro-army stuff, but not really doing what he wanted to do. He really wanted to go out and fight.
He wanted to get with the shits.
Exactly. And then eventually he ended up doing that. And that part was awesome.
Was it? All right, so here's the thing. I'll use your line, right? Here's the thing. Why in the world, like you see this guy chase down this guy before he kills himself and stuff like that. You waste all this money to give him the super soldier serum so he can come out looking all buff. And then you sideline him to a comedy act for years. I didn't understand that, and they didn't make that make sense to me.
I didn't understand that either.
It's a waste of money, and I felt like it was a little.
Let me help y'all make that. No. Let me help y'all understand how that makes sense. The biggest way you sell war is propaganda. That's the biggest way you sell war. The U.S. is famous for doing that in every war, whether we invade a country, whether it was Japan, whether it was Korea, whether it was Iraq, whether it was Iran. We will be dropping bombs and then also dropping pamphlets and propaganda.
I mean, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I remember how much the war in Iraq was sold. Especially here.
That shit was sold so much, nigga, I joined the Navy.
So why would you use Captain America to sell it when you could have had somebody that look like him to sell it and had Captain America using my hard-earned money on the field?
One, they didn't know what they had.
Fact.
He just chased down this guy in the car.
Then they didn't want to use
Well, actually, that too, because he chased down the guy in the car. You have a big crowd of people that got to see that. That word spread around. So then everybody, making him a moral authority. You know what I mean? So like, they can use him more than anything, better than anybody for the propaganda. You know what I mean? They don't have to use a president. They don't have to use a senator. They don't have to use any public figure. They could use somebody like Captain America so that everybody can be behind. And you know what? You know, it was a perfect example of that. Superman. Superman is the American hero. Like Superman is the guy that has way more than Captain America, but Superman is the guy, is the American guy. Like he's the guy that everybody's like, whatever. When I was a kid,
he's a representative of the truth, justice, and American way. So I completely agree with you. You did make it make sense. I just think it was a dumbass strategy. But carrying on.
And then so after that, what was after that? No, I forgot. Oh, wait, there was a scene where he went to go get a bunch of people that thought he was dead, and then he came back with all these people.
hold on. Before we get to that, let's go into Bucky, his best friend, and Elite.
He got
You know,
killed.
we'll get into that the next MCU joint we discussed when we talk about Captain America 2, the Winter Soldier. But
Yeah.
it starts to show you a little bit of the relationship between him and Bucky, aka the Winter Soldier. That's
Yep.
something, you know. You see how they came in together.
I
You
gotta
see
go
how they
get
came,
a plug. Give me a second. I
and
just gotta
Bucky,
go get the charger.
go ahead. And Bucky was more soldier ready, and more, not just bulked up, but he was more soldier ready. But the CERN was for Chris. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sipping Hennessy Black. Apologize. So that was one of the things that I like I said, I'm a true Marvel head. Like I say, the only thing I like about DC is DC villains. DC villains are way more better than Marvel villains and more interesting. But when it comes to the heroes and the movies, Marvel got it. Like, now don't get me wrong,
That's arguable.
the DC cartoon movies are the shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie. All those Justice Leagues, Flashpoint, all that. They animated movies are the shit. But when it comes to that live action, the most decent DC movie was Aquaman. Everything else behind it was been shit. And before this,
That's debatable, and that's a conversation I'd love to debate you on because I'm more of a DC guy.
I
But
have a question. Oh, matter of fact, that's the show for Thursday. You want to do it Thursday, or is somebody on
Thursday
Thursday?
is AEW NXT. We'll talk about it offline.
Okay.
But definitely, Bucky Barnes got killed, fell from a thing. Gotcha. And welcome back, Vic. Hey, you just keep switching. And Charmaine agrees with you on something, by the way. I don't know if you see that.
She probably agrees with me on the car chase thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
What's the next thing?
now we back to like I said, I just wanted to go back to the whole Bucky reference, because we're gonna go into that on another show. But come on, Vic, we can't be yawning on the show, man. We can't be doing that.
Oh no, I got up at 6 in the morning. That's all. That's the only reason.
Oh yeah. You see, I about to say you ain't see my status this morning. Good morning, people.
We probably shouldn't even be talking about this on air, but the funny thing, Vic, is funny story. I actually woke up to take my early morning bathroom crap. First one I've done in weeks. Let me tell you, first one I've done in weeks. And when I did it, and I opened up Facebook, the first thing I saw was workflow. I was like, oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's amazing. But
that shit is funny.
what was the next part of Captain America? The pilot episode, man. We don't want to be canceled after one show. What's the next part of it?
Thanks. Wait, where were you at?
We just left from the part. Like I said, I got reverted back to Bucky, but before I reverted back to Bucky, we were on his first mission.
Oh yeah, so he went on the first mission and he pretty much just rescued an entire platoon of people. Now, but prior to that, Tommy Lee Jones and Agent Carter were having an argument about all of these men dying and how the program is over and all of this other crap and blah blah blah. But then all of a sudden, here comes Captain America. Well, no, it's Sergeant Rogers. Here comes him. Here comes him with like this, him and Bucky and a couple of other guys. And honestly, like that whole World War II crew of people looked very inaccurate, but maybe very accurate. I'm curious. I'm very curious. I'm very, very curious how accurate that whole World War II platoon looked. But because it was very, very progressive.
And that's the things that was probably accurate was the foxholes, the way they was moving around the foxholes. Because I noticed some of the guns looked a little modern.
Facts.
So
exactly.
I attribute that to Hydra having alien technology, so their weapons was a little bit more advanced.
Exactly.
Or it could have been like the Game of Thrones where we had the Starbucks cup sitting on the table. So, like I say,
I mean, and it looked like Universal Studios New York 1941.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It wasn't like that accurate. So
Yeah.
like you know what I mean? Like it definitely was New York 1940s, but there's certain spots and certain things. It's not like they got in the train or anything like, you know what I mean? So like there was a lot of stuff that they just like made up, but it wasn't that accurate. But
Yeah.
anyway, he came back from the platoon and then ended up just becoming this big ass general and gaining everybody's respect, right? So then he decided that he wanted to go back and get the doctor, the what was his
Amendola.
name? Huh?
I
What was
think
his
it's
name?
Amendola. I think his name Dr.
Armin
Amendola.
Zola.
Amendola.
Armin Zola.
I
Okay,
was
that sounds
close.
like a fruit.
You were
So
not close. You just rhymed them. That's all. Don't
No,
sit here and say something that's not true. You were
I was
not close.
close.
You said Amendola. You gave this man the disease instead of saying his real name. I don't want to hear
Actually,
that.
no, actually, his name sounded like either a
he's like,
basketball
don't do that.
player
Don't
or a
do
football player. Danny
Okay.
Amendola. That's
No,
what it
no,
was.
no. No, no, no. Okay. All right. Let's go to the
that. Yo, that shit is funny. Yo, man, yo. But wait, hold on. Where the hell were we?
He
He
went back
wanted
to
to
get
go
the
back.
doctor. He went to
Oh
go
yeah,
get
so he was going
Amendola.
back to get the doctor, and in that scene was crazy because it was a crazy fighting scene. In the end, it showed Bucky and Captain America just fighting with Hydra agents, and basically chasing the doctor. But the unfortunate part is that one of the Hydra agents shot a hole into the train. Bucky went flying out, and as Captain America was trying to save him, he ended up losing his best friend.
Well,
Um,
so we thought.
or so we thought. You know what I mean? But that information will come about in a later show. So after that it was, just a sad time because Bucky was gone, and but they did end up getting the doctor. They got the doctor, and then they got into this whole thing, and they pretty much revealed one thing that Tommy Lee Jones noticed was that the doctor didn't try to kill himself, and every other Hydra agent did.
Yep.
So he pretty much realized that Hydra wasn't, the doctor's thing. Diablo, what is that, Willie? What is that? Okay.
It's
That's
Henny Black.
Hennessy Black.
Nice. 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 Okay. You went to the duty free?
Yes, indeed.
Nice. I love it. 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 Damn. Where was I?
After him, he lost his best friend Bucky, so we thought
Word up. No, but then they found the doctor. What happened after that? Once they found the doctor.
that's when we get introduced to the Red Skull,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of get a little history on Red Skull, Hydra, the I want to can't call it a rivalry, but you'll see where uh Red Skull is Captain America's nemesis, and they're and you don't understand. People don't understand how powerful Red Skull is. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people just don't understand. Like, yeah, you see Captain America whooping his ass a lot, but Hydra infiltrated Shield, and my man was the keeper of the Soul Stone. So, like, as demented and as fucked up as he is, Red Skull got a lot of power in the MCU that people don't give him credit for. People just think he's Captain America's whooping boy, but the whole time he gave Captain America a run for his money.
You
And
sure
it,
did.
and it's something that we don't get in neither one of the Captain America movies that we got in the comic. And it was the epic battle between Red Skull and Captain America.
Mm.
And we'll get at that later with the results and
Well,
everything. How that happened.
just a little bit of background on Red Skull. Red Skull and Captain America are basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about it is that Red Skull also was given the serum, and Red Skull is the only other person to ever get the super soldier serum.
So,
The thing about the serum is, and one thing that the original doctor said was that the serum, one of the reasons why they had to choose Captain Rogers is because he's so selfless, and which leads to him jumping on the grenade.
yep.
Okay, so him being as selfless as that, that's the reason why they gave him the serum. because the serum extends who you
are
inside.
All right, so let me get this straight. Because he jumped on a grenade, all right?
Yes,
So
that means he's a good guy because he
has
jumps on a grenade.
suicidal tendencies. Okay,
Yes,
so
he
you
has
give it any
suicidal
crazy
tendencies
mofo off
to
the street that
save
has suicidal
other people's lives.
tendencies. You
Wait
give
a
him a
minute,
super
okay,
soaking serum.
he has suicidal tendencies, right? He has suicidal tendencies.
Guess what?
How does the movie end?
So we know
Exactly. He has suicidal tendencies.
Exactly. So he saved everybody.
He could
killed
do this
Hydra,
all day.
and then what did he do? What did he do?
You know what
He
that
sacrificed
shows us?
himself because he wants to die. He's afraid of a woman. All right, so Peggy Carter wanted to give him some, right? No, let's be real. Right? So Peggy Carter wanted to give him some.
Wait. So you saying that he's gonna jump on a grenade because he's scared of the pussy? That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Chris, he's not you, Chris.
Hey, no. You know what? They messed up with the soundtrack for this movie. This movie's soundtrack should have been like, I'll catch a grenade for you, because that's what he did. He did not want any part of Peggy Carter. Peggy Carter said, hey, this day, this time, this is what happened. And then he went down the ship. And then he wakes up and realizes that he was going to be late. That's what you're telling me? Yeah, you knew you were going to be late. What do you think you were? What do you think you were?
Though. But here's the thing. He thought he was going to live. He went in, and mind you, we just skipped mad parts and went into this. Anyway,
because I'm trying to figure out, like, you went back, you opened up these cans of worms, like, you pulled the pin on this grenade, so that was blowing up, and you have no Steve Rogers scrawny toothpick to save you.
No, but here's the thing, though. Right? If it wasn't ice and frozen and like icy water where he was just preserved, don't you think he did live? Don't you think he would have just came out of it? They gave him the serum. He didn't die. He went through a big ass crash, right? And then they found him frozen. You know what I'm saying? Like a caveman. So the crash didn't really affect him. So imagine if he would have jumped on another grenade after the serum. He would have been good. But
he would have tried to find another grenade. He would have found a reason. He had a suicidal complex.
Listen, man, Captain Rogers had such a good heart that they gave him the serum, and he deserves it. And this is why we have Cap this day. He's such a good man that even Wakanda gave him a shield when he lost it. You know what I'm saying? Because Captain Rogers is the man.
Mind you, when Wakanda gave it to him, this 90-year-old version still did not talk to any damn woman. He kissed a woman that happened to be the niece of somebody of Agent Carter.
Hold on. What's wrong with wanting to be the woman when it's your time? What's wrong with wanting to be with a woman?
Hold on, Vic. Hold on. I got him, Vic. Guess what, Chris? You've been frozen in ice for over 50-something years. You come out, the love of your life is old and lived her life and everything. So you mean to tell me you want some 70-year-old pussy, or do you want some 28-year-old pussy?
At that time, he woke up in 2012. He could get any woman he wanted. All right, I mean, come on, they're throwing themselves at anybody. Especially he was in New York. We know how New Yorkers are. So the bottom line is, right? The bottom line is that Captain America, his 90-year-old version self, should have went out there and he was on ice. He was on ice. You know what I'm saying? When he was a skinny twig, he wasn't getting anything. He's over here picking fights with people in the movie theater.
Ice for 50 years, like your headline looked
Wait a minute.
Frozen.
That's the best you got. Keep thinking you're hitting black.
What about that
after you hit black, I guarantee you're going to act like you're going to act like you were 50 years on ice, and you're going to want to get something.
He had pussy being thrown at him. He had pussy being
thrown at him.
He didn't take it. That blonde chick, and he was grabbing her up. And he was grabbing her up and kissing her back and all of that because he thought that Agent Carter was fine doing with Howard Stark. How about that? Yeah, boy.
Or how about this? And this might be going a little bit further. This is going a little bit further. How about this? How about he's going after a secret agent? He's going after a secret agent who kissed him. And then he says, hey, I know we can probably take this to the bedroom, but instead I want to take this team and go fight another team. That's what I want to do. I want to go ahead and commit suicide some more because I am afraid of some damn pussy. This is, the bottom line. You know what? You don't want to believe it. But it's the truth.
Yo, where's he gonna take her? He's in the fucking platoon underground shit somewhere, and she just kissing him behind.
He had a van. He had a van.
Where's he gonna take her?
I'm telling you right now. I always thought, honestly, not that there's anything wrong with that. I always thought Captain America might be a little, he might be a little homosexual. So I mean, but the thing is, hold on, no, hear me out. his infatuation with Bucky, especially in Captain America: Winter Soldier, future episode, was a little crazy at times. Okay, I'm just saying.
That was his best friend.
You never had a true friend, Chris. Hold on, Vic,
I always had a true friend. What are you talking about, bro? No. This man, a true friend would have waited and got out the car to let this man get some in that backseat of that car. Okay, so I don't want to hear that. All right, that's what a true friend would have did. Instead, Bucky was looking all jealous. Because Captain America was talking to a woman. Captain America, he was in a confused state. He wanted to experiment, so he was saying, "Hey, let me talk to this girl." And Bucky was. Well, we're talking to about a different movie. Well, we'll wait till we get to Captain America 2: Winter Soldier. Let's keep talking about Captain America 1. But this suicidal 90-year-old version, we gotta keep talking about him in the first movie. So,
but
hold on, Vic. Hold on, Vic. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
You will not disrespect the original Avenger like that.
The first Avenger?
Disrespect.
I didn't disrespect him.
You will not disrespect the guy who never got the pussy, but had the pussy waiting 60 years for him before she decided to even live her life.
She got married.
No. Because guess what? When we got Endgame and my man went back in time to fix shit, my man had that band on his tan, and guess who he was married to?
You mean after he fought the biggest battle in life, and he probably thought there's nothing going to give him that suicidal high again? So he said, "Let me just go ahead and settle."
What you mean? Like the first movie connects to the last movie because he went back on that date.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he said, "Hey, I'm getting older," because he visibly aged. I might as well just go ahead and start from scratch. So that's what he did. And you know what? I don't blame him for that. He pined so much for it that he wanted to go back and do that. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to wait till Avengers Endgame to talk about that. All right? Let's put that in a box. All right? Let's put that in a box. All right? Let's talk about the great job that Hugo Weaving did as the Red Skull.
The original Playboy.
Who disrespected him? How was he disrespected?
By calling them homosexual. You was not going to disrespect him like that.
The views and opinion of Will T. Dream or that of him and not of unpopular reviews. I said there's nothing wrong with that. If he likes men, he likes men. I have gay friends.
Wait a minute. Because what you would not do is insinuate that anyway that the Will T. Dream is LGBT insensitive.
You just said that he was. You said that I disrespected him because I said he was gay.
My man had somebody waiting on that long for motherfucking 30 years before she decided.
You're right, Bucky. Bucky was waiting for 30 years. He was a little brainwashed. He was a little brainwashed. I get that. And he woke up because he woke up. The man woke up out of his love for Captain America. You're going to tell me that that's not a little homosexual tendency? Do we have to talk about Captain America 2: Winter Soldier now? He was beating up Captain America, and then Captain America looked at him right in the eye and said, "I love you." And then all of a sudden, all his memories came rushing back. So no, I don't want to hear that, sir. I don't want to hear that. But there's nothing wrong with that. I support gay marriage.
Now I don't want. Now that you said that, I hate to bring up, our personal talks and shit like that, but. It's been times when we get out, when we get on the phone, like I tell my homies, man, love you, Slim, stay safe, or love you, Slim. Like that don't make me less of a man because I can tell my homies, man.
I didn't say he was less of a man, Willie. I didn't disrespect him. I said he likes dudes. I said he likes dudes. There's nothing wrong with that. He likes dudes. He likes dudes. He's still a man. Hey, he may like dudes. He can still whip my ass. There's nothing less manly about Captain America, even though he's a 90-year-old version. But the bottom line is, hey, let him do him. All right? Let's talk about Hugo Weaving's job as the Red Skull. That was a tremendous range of character work that he did. Fact. What do you think, Willie?
Hold on. What'd you say? I missed that.
Hugo Weaving is the Red Skull.
Who?
Hugo Weaving is the Red Skull.
Hold on, Hugo. Who is that?
The guy with the face, with that really characteristic face.
What else did he play in?
What did he play in? He played in The Matrix. He played in Transformers.
Oh, word. The Matrix is perfect. Matrix.
He was the agent in The Matrix.
No, yeah, he was the main one, the main enemy in The Matrix.
He was the agent.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I think that's his best role, bro.
No, actually.
Wait, was it?
You right about that, but we ain't never hear Red Skull say too many words except for doing Endgame.
Oh nah, but
it was a different actor that played him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
Hugo
totally
Weaving
different
didn't want to return to the
because
role. He didn't like all the makeup, and he said that he didn't think that was one of his best roles. Yet he kept playing Megatron in Transformers.
Okay.
That's another series we'll talk about. But
Oh, okay.
terrible series, I might add.
What?
But
Transformers?
yeah, terrible, horrible.
I'm gonna be honest.
it
After
started
Dark
good.
Side of the Moon, I wasn't a fan.
I think it started good with the whole Bumblebee story, but then after that, it went downhill.
But see,
Okay.
that's what you know. Jerry Bruckheimer and them, switched up after. I think after last night's or Dark Side of the Moon, Jerry Bruckheimer got off of it.
They need to take Michael Bay, whatever his name is, Michael Bay, off of Transformers. That's what you need.
Because you got too many explosions and too many of the when Michael Bay on it.
Yeah, he loves his explosions. Captain America, because we're running out of time here.
Oh yeah, because we got I want to just do an hour.
Yeah, we still have another show and all this other stuff, but Captain America. I mean, overall, what was the next part? Because I forgot what scene we were on. We jumped at every scene.
Well, basically, where we were at was the spot where where Captain America was basically chasing after the Red Skull, right? Finally gets when he got on the plane, finally gets to the Red Skull, and then finally gets into the ship. And so they end up fighting back and forth, and the Red Skull takes the Infinity Stone, grabs it with his hand, and then he pretty much gets shipped off all the way to like the second to last movie.
Did we go into what actual stone the Tesseract is?
It's the Soul Stone.
That is the Soul Stone stone? Yeah, okay.
No, it's not the Soul Stone. The Soul Stone is not the Tesseract. The Soul Stone is the red stone. The Tesseract is...
It's the Space Stone? It's the Space Stone.
Yeah, the Blue Stone.
Yeah,
the Blue Stone is the Space Stone.
Okay, so that the Blue Stone, that's the one that he... Because it was still in the box. Yeah, so it's still a Tesseract. They haven't... Who breaks it out of that? I think it's...
Loki breaks it.
Loki breaks it, okay.
No,
wait.
Who?
Thanos breaks it, yeah.
Thanos breaks it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. He does.
Yeah. Thanos is the one that breaks it later on, way later on. So yeah, basically, so what happens is that he gets shipped off, and then the Tesseract pretty much falls through the ship. And
Batman Begins.
Say what?
I'm answering Mitch's question.
Mitchell, that's another. That's something for another. We talking Marvel.
I'm just answering the question.
Yeah, we can do Batman at some point. We can do Batman at some point.
I'll go into detail why would we do that, but Batman Begins is my answer. Good.
Okay, so now, the Tesseract falls through the plane, and then they go through the whole scene where Captain America, once again, is committing suicide. So, he puts the picture of his girl because he ain't scared of the pussy. So stop hating. So he puts a picture of his girl before he goes down, and he goes down and saves millions of people because the ship was going to New York. He said he pulls it down because he's selfless, right? Because he's a selfless person and a good person. This is why they gave him the serum, and the other person that got the serum ended up floating away somewhere. Okay. He put the picture of the girl that he likes because there's nothing wrong with being with the girl that you like. So he puts the girl that he likes on his thing and then goes down because he puts the picture of the girl that he likes so that he has a reason to stay alive. So he does what he has to do, and he brings the ships down and saves about 4 million people in New York City. Thanks, Cap.
So he puts a picture of the girl he likes right there. It says, "Hey, I'm doing this for you, baby. I'm killing myself for you." And then he goes down. That's what he did. No. It's fine. It's fine. You know what?
Here's the thing. The intention was not to kill himself. The intention was to stop the ship. You know why? Because he did not die. You think he was thinking about being frozen for 70 years? Of course not. You think that?
No, he thought he was going to die. That's what he did. He probably wasn't going to die. That's why he was so upset. He woke up and said, "Shit, I failed again. I failed again. I could have killed myself again."
Look, he knew he wasn't going to die. He had the serum. He was good.
He was willing to die to protect the love of his life.
No,
Now,
not only that, he was willing to die to protect his hometown.
You were right. I agree with Willie. He was willing to die to protect the love of his life, which is himself. I completely agree with you, Willie. He was selfish. He was a 90-year-old virgin being selfish. I mean, let's just be real, okay?
He wasn't 90 at the time. He wasn't 90 at the time.
You're right.
He was 90 years old after he woke up 70 years later.
Yeah, he was over his
20s. He was in his 20s and full of ambition. And he was just like, yo, if I land this plane.
And apparently he was full of sperm too, because he didn't get a chance to get any of it off. But that's fine. That's cool. So
see, that's why. But he didn't think about being frozen for 70 years. He didn't think about all that. He didn't think about all that. Who's going to think about that? Who's going to be like, all right, bet. So I'm going to land this plane, and then I'm going to be frozen for 70 years. And then when I get out, I'm going to tear that pussy up. Come on now.
Hey, Vic, we talking to somebody who actually think DC is better than Marvel. So
DC is better than Marvel, but that's another story for another time. What grade, if you were to give this movie a grade, what grade would you give it, Willie? I'll start with you.
We talking to somebody who has no insight.
Willie, if you have so much insight, tell me what grade you would give this movie.
Captain America, the First Avenger, A plus being the highest.
Most likely,
yeah. It's out of order, and they didn't do it like how I read the comics and everything. I give it a solid B.
Okay, Vic, what you give it?
Well, you know, watching it back is different than watching it the first time, because watching it back, especially after watching all those movies and knowing what's gonna happen later, it's a different experience because you there's a lot of clues that you already know the outcome to. So it's a little bit of a different experience. I give it a B, because there's just certain things that made me laugh, and then there's certain things that were just like, oh, all right, bomb, that was that clue. Look at that, that's coming way later. Okay, nice. But at the same time, I was still entertained. I can watch that movie like anytime. You know what I mean? Like I literally could watch all movies back to back if I had the time and the ability to. You know what I mean? To sit there through all of that, and you know, and my girl was next to me.
This what separates and what makes Marvel movies not only better than DC's, but have them more cohesiveness. If you was a writer on Captain America, you was a writer on Captain America, all the movies. If you was a writer on Iron Man, you was the writer of Iron Man 1, 2, 3, whatever. When they do Avengers, whether it's even when they did Black Panther, once he came on and wrote, guess what? When they combined them, guess who wrote for each individual superhero of the movie? The designated writer for them on their movie. That's why MCU was able to tie everything in together. They gave us, 10 years or was it 15 years? They gave us 10 years of movies before we got the first
Still more to come.
And now we're going into the second phase. And a lot of people don't know or understand it. I mean, phase 4. I mean, see, that's the thing. I'm a true comic book. So them speeding it up or combining things for the movie universe compared to the comic book world, like we haven't even really got a real live great Fantastic Four movie. And I ain't
That's true. All the Fantastic Four movies have been trash.
I ain't gonna get into that just yet. But guess what? One of the leads in the MCU as one of the biggest villains before we get Galactus is about to be Dr. Doom. So, like I say, Chris, you know, I can't wait to do this Marvel versus DC with you.
I can tell because we're a long way from that, and yet you try to give your whole spiel of it now. That's fine. Hopefully we'll talk about this every single episode, all 22 episodes before we start talking branching off and something else. But I can tell you right now, I'll give you my argument since you just gave me 5 minutes of your argument of why MCU is better. I will always say the best comic book movie of all time, in my opinion, is The Dark Knight. And I haven't seen anything that's up there with The Dark Knight yet. So
no. Wait a minute. The Dark Knight is with Heath Ledger, right?
Yes.
You know what? There's never been a Batman better than Christian Bale.
Arguable.
Michael Keaton was a good Batman.
Other than Christian Bale is Michael
How
Keaton.
did we get from Heath Ledger to Christian Bale?
Because we're here now. Don't worry about it. We're here.
No, we're
now.
not.
Michael Keaton was a really good Batman, man.
He was the second best.
You know what I'm saying? Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson as the Joker, bro.
Michael Keaton was the second best Batman, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Hold on, can we talk about that when we get to the Batman series? How about that? Yeah. Why? Can we talk about that when we get to the Batman series?
Jump in the movie.
Guess what?
He's going here. Here's how we start off. We're like, hey, welcome everybody to Unpopular Reviews Captain America Edition. I want to talk about Blade.
Let me finish. Wait a minute. Let me finish. Okay. I said earlier in the show, DC villains are better than Marvel villains. And the only thing, and I'm going to say this and that's it, we're going to get back on MCU. Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger won Academy Awards for their role as the Joker. Batman, Michael Keaton, or Val
Jack
Kilmer
Nicholson
best leading actor, none of that, male actor, none of that. But best supporting actor in the role, both went to fucking Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Like a Donald Trump press conference, I have to fact check you. Jack Nicholson didn't win an Oscar for that. Heath Ledger did do that, however. Joker, you're talking about Joaquin Phoenix won an Academy Award for his portrayal of the Joker.
Who?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Hold on, time out, because I don't consider them the same because
what?
Because the Joaquin Joker is not showing up in the next Batman film.
But he's still the Joker.
No. He is. And that adaptation of the Joker is a different. See, I'm well versed on the comic books, so I know which version of the Joker Joaquin is playing.
He's playing the Joker, though.
And that version of the Joker is just like what's my man who played Joker in Suicide Squad?
Jared Leto.
What's his name?
Amendola. It's Jared Leto.
That's not his name.
Jared Leto.
I haven't watched that movie.
Oh yeah, Leto. His last name Leto.
I still haven't seen that movie. I got to see it.
Suicide Squad was okay.
Guess what? I like Jared Leto's version of the Joker in Suicide Squad, and I hope that's what they going with, because if you watch any of the DC the animation movies, you see Joker off the hook. And if you watch Harley Quinn got a cartoon that comes on the DC streaming service, and that Joker is off the fucking hook, like killing kids, everything. Yeah, real loud.
Okay.
And
okay.
So I believe Jared Leto's version of the Joker is more like what DC is putting out in the animated films. The Joker we got with Joaquin, y'all notice, do it say DC films on it?
I don't remember. I have to see it again. And I'll watch it again when we do the review for it, because I feel like we're about to do it now. And we really shouldn't do the review now.
Let's talk about what I said.
I'm not letting you back off. Can we wait till we talk about the movie?
I said DC villains are way more.
That is a very interesting argument. I want to have with you on a future episode of Unpopular Reviews Entertainment Edition. This is the pilot episode where we're supposed to be talking about Captain America, and we end up talking about Blade and Spider-Man and why DC is not as good as and Batman and everything else.
Come out. You're not going to
come on, Henny Black. Come on, Henny Black.
You're not going to act like the information I gave out about Blade is.
No, we could have did a series on it though.
No. We definitely can do a show on that. But I wanted to start out with that because it doesn't get the proper respect, and even the reason that we have the MC universe now.
I'm going to do you one better. There are a lot of movies that are responsible for where comic book movies are today.
No.
Superman's one.
No.
Batman's another.
Listen to me.
X-Men is another.
No.
So
We're not
so
talking
Spider-Man.
We're not talking about what could be We're talking about what is factually proven. And when we do the show, I'll have the numbers and I'll have exact articles because it is not only talked about, but it is documented number-wise, figuratively, and everything about how Blade saved the Marvel franchise.
I personally believe that comic book movies are where they at today for one movie and one movie only. That is Spider-Man 2002.
We wouldn't have got Spider-Man.
That's what makes it, but what puts it to the iteration it is today is Spider-Man 2002. Spider-Man was such a blockbuster.
It only happened because of the money Blade made. That's what I'm saying. And I'll have the exact Rolling Stone.
You go ahead and do that, and then you talk about the fact that Spider-Man is not even owned by Marvel Cinematic Universe because they sold it to Sony. Sony because of that.
I'll get you say Sony.
You will when we talk about that particular day in that particular episode. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do these plugs and end the show. Let's do these plugs and end the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Unpopular Reviews. I am the host, the executive coach, Chris Harris, joined by the other host, the Will T. Dream, who has all the knowledge and the numbers, as well as over there, the Mark, who's just laughing it up, Victor Rodriguez. Join the two of them later at 10 o'clock p.m. for another episode of Unpopular Reviews when we go back to our wrestling edition, Hulk Hogan edition, where we talk about everything Hulk Hogan. Willie, go ahead and talk about what you want to talk about.
We're going to talk about everything Hulk Hogan. We're going to start before he even got signed by Vince. We're going to go into his time in New Japan. We're going to go into the type of wrestler that he was. We're going to go into what Vince saw in him, to what Vince and even what got Andre to even pass the torch to Hogan. We're going to go into all things. We're going to go into his run in WWE until he took his hiatus to go shoot Suburban Commando. Then we're going to go into the steroid issues when the federal government indicted Vince and how that played a part in him leaving afterwards, how he told Vince he wasn't coming back. I mean, he wasn't wrestling. Then he signed to WCW. We're going to go into the NWO. We're going to go into the infamous sex tape scandal when a lot of things happened where certain things he said where people could even consider him racist. We're going to go into all that. And I'm going to be honest, my views do not reflect, yep, I like wrestling, the unpopular reviews, or anything that is sanctioned or governed, because I have a real perspective on it, and some people not going to like it. And I want y'all to chime in, not just chime in and chime in and comment, and we're going to really have a debate, because one of the greatest wrestlers, and I don't mean greatest wrestlers as far as sound technically or hold wise, but I mean having one of the most greatest impacts on wrestling, period.
He's the biggest draw ever.
He was the Michael Jordan of wrestling before Michael Jordan was in basketball.
Fact City.
And you know, we gonna go into all that, and I want everybody to chime in, like I said, because I'm coming with straight fire, because not only was I a fan who was saying my prayers at night, taking my vitamins. I still got the Hulk Hogan motherfucking weight set, motherfucking with the whole layout of how to do certain workouts and everything. Still in the goddamn box. And we're gonna go into how people don't appreciate when they talk about greatest things. They don't talk about I'm a real American, because there's something about that shit. When you hear that, you just goddamn. I'm a real American. You know, when everybody tunes
you know, Willie, you're like,
you gotta cut me off, man.
You're like that trailer.
You wanted to get in the Grammy, and I like to thank.
You're like that trailer that gives away too much information. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The one that tells you the whole movie, man. You're like, we're gonna talk about this, we're gonna talk about that, and I even got the weight and say, and we're gonna talk about this, but a lot of people don't know.
No, but
so we literally not gonna cut the show off. We just roll into the next show.
Oh no, my bad. But like, you can tell I'm passionate about this shit.
Hey, and that's why I really believe it's gonna be one of the best episodes I've ever seen, and the two of y'all going to do it, and hopefully y'all take some people in, because it's going to be really controversial. It's going to be great. But that's tonight at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, Unpopular Reviews, AEW NXT edition. Vic will be on that episode along with a special guest. Bad Guy Jack is coming back for you Smile Solving Mondays episode with myself and
Hey,
Katrina.
hold on, y'all want Uncle Aloysius on the Mars show?
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what Uncle Aloysius is going to be on. I'll let you know in about an hour if Uncle Aloysius is needed. On Friday, we have Dark Side of the Ring. Jimmy Snuka is going to be Katrina Black, as well as the Big Daddy Cool Steven Pena, and another person to be told. On Saturday, we have myself and the Will Team Dream bring you SmackDown along with another special guest. We're special guesting it out over the course of next week. And on Saturday night, we're going to have the second episode of this Unpopular Reviews Entertainment Edition, where we discuss another Captain Marvel, who I will give you a bit of a spoiler. I'm not going to go to a full 4-minute trailer of the whole movie like Willie Teen Dream did, but this movie was not good to me. So I'm going to crucify it. I'm just letting you know, heads up, I'm going to crucify this movie. Anyway, the bottom line is,
I want to be on that show just because I just want to rebut you just because.
You're going to rebut me by telling me how Marvel's better than DC. You're not going to rebut me by telling me why Captain Marvel is actually good, because it wasn't.
Who?
You scared of the dick?
Oh, no. She was scared of acting classes. That's what she was afraid of. But anyway,
no. You know who should have played Captain Marvel?
Here we go. Let's talk about it now, Willie. We don't have a show on Saturday.
I'm just gonna go there.
Let's talk about it now. Hey, let's go ahead and end it. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at UPR YupILW. Twitter, Instagram, UPR YupILW. Hey, thanks for watching our pilot episode. I promise it's going to get bigger and better from here. So for Willie, for the Mark.
Hold on.
Holding on.
Hey, all the viewers, comment what movies y'all want us to talk about. Whether it's suspense, whether it's sci-fi, whether it's documentaries, whatever. Whatever movies y'all think y'all want us to talk about, if we don't hit on them as soon or when y'all think we should. Hell, even TV shows. Whatever y'all feel like y'all want us to review or go into, comment it. We gonna get y'all. We'll show it for the fans. We want to give y'all what y'all want, man. And we want to show y'all, not only do we listen to y'all, we take in what y'all say, just like AEW do instead of WWE. We listen to our
popular reviews.
Yes, indeed, man. Hit us in the inbox. Hit us in, hell, if y'all ain't friends of Unpopular Review, but y'all friends of me or Vic or Chris, man, hit us with the inbox. Hey, I think y'all should talk about this. Or I think y'all should do a show on this show or this movie. Man, we taking all ideas. Don't think it's because of lack of content. We just trying to give y'all what y'all want.
Fact City, especially now that our providers might not be able to provide due to all of the cuts.
Correct.
Shout out to the one and only Pittsburgh's own Kurt Angle. This was the shirt released from when he first came back, and it's hilarious because they'll probably re-release this shirt when COVID goes away. So,
and now that they've released them, they don't have to pay them off no merch, do they?
Say what?
I said, now that they released them, do he get a cut of the merch?
No, yes. They still get a cut off the merch. Anything that's printed, they continue.
And
like, look, Dean Ambrose still has a couple of shirts, but only in small sizes. So, like, he's still getting royalty checks.
And that's a lot of things like what the other show didn't go into the other day when they were talking about the click. Like, they didn't give Kevin Nash a lot of credit. Like, and then they didn't go into that. A lot of
that's wrestling oriented.
Captain America was a great movie.
I said what I said.
Talk about it tonight. Talk about it tonight. That's Katrina's line. All right. Hey, we gotta go. We gotta go. Hey, thanks everybody. Have a good night.
Yo, see y'all in an hour.
I don't even know how to end this. There we go.
Man, I'm fucking mute me. What the fuck? You cut my mic full?